Hi everyone, my name is Oat. I am a founder that just joined the most recent Antler Canada cohort in Toronto starting last week. And I thought that I would be making some videos just to capture my journey as I'm going through this 10-week program and just share with you guys kind of week to week how I'm feeling, what I've learned throughout the program, and hopefully it will be useful to someone that is interested in becoming a founder and want to join a similar program, and kind of the lessons that I've learned, and how I can position myself for success as I'm going through this journey, and maybe for you guys not to have to make the same mistakes that I do. But yeah, just want to capture my week 1. Today is the first of week 2. Just an overall kind of background outline of the program. It's a 10-week program, so Antler is like an early, like day 0 VC. So they invest in founders and companies from the first day, and you can come in and apply to Antler program with just an idea, or maybe not even an idea itself, just as yourself and your experience. And they pick great founders. For my case, it was 60 founders that joined the cohort with me, and the program is designed for these 60 founders to come together, group up into 2 teams of 2 to 3 to 4 founders, and hopefully come up with a great idea, validate this idea within the 10-week program, and by the end of it you can present your idea to the VC, the board of investors, and if they like it, they will give you $150K Canadian for 10% of your company. It's just one of the great ways to get started with your as a first-time founder, and just to be surrounded by great people and who are willing to be committed to starting a company with you. So it's been the first week. I can share a little bit more about the schedule of the 10 weeks. I guess the first week that has passed, as well as the second week, is more for introduction and kind of getting to know other people in the cohort, learning about everybody's strengths and weaknesses, what they're coming in, what their ideas are, what their expertise are, and kind of seeing who do you most importantly like to work with. So beyond that, the first 2 weeks is also about presentations and learning about VCs and learning about how to find a great idea, how to validate ideas, how to talk to customers, how to position yourself for success, and find a great idea that is solving a real problem. So that's kind of the first 2 weeks, and starting from week 3, the program will encourage you to connect with, pair up with 1 to 2 other founders and track out, which is essentially saying that you're off the market and you're going to be working with 1 to 2 founders to explore some of these ideas and validate if there's a problem to be solved. And for the rest of the weeks, like from week 3 all the way to week 10, you'll be continuously trying to improve and show progress around your idea, and whether or not there's a market. Maybe you have to pivot and explore a different idea. Maybe you will have conflicts with your co-founder and you want to kind of track back into the pool and perhaps work with someone else in the program. And by the end of 10 weeks, you basically present your idea to the board of investors, and if they like it, they'll give you money to get you started. The $150K is obviously very little money. It's probably not going to get you very far, but it's kind of a bump, almost like a friends and family investment round, but this way you don't have to beg for money from your friends and family, and you get enough runway to then kind of build your MVP out and talk to some other customers and try to raise another round right after. So that's the schedule of the 10 weeks. for the first week that I've done so far, just want to share with you as this kind of raw and live in my head right now. It's been quite a crazy pressure cooker for founders. I think I came with some expectations around what to expect, but just being in this energy around a bunch of other founders has been just one of a kind in terms of experience and the energy in the room. So we started like the first day with some meet and greet, talking to people in the office, getting your name tags, your photos taken for the headshot, and just, you know, spending a lot of time just saying hi to everybody. I mean, there was a Slack group that was created right before, maybe a couple months before the program started, so you get to know a bit about each of the people inside the room. So, you know, the first day you get to really see them in person and talk to them more about the ideas and just feeling out the vibe between everybody. There's a lot of talking, a lot of networking. And then, yeah, the rest of the day was just a welcome to Antler, introduction to the program, things that I've told you about around like what the program's looking for, how to be successful. Then you meet the partners. The partners are essentially the two head of our like Antler Toronto, Naaman and Bernie. Tons of experience as entrepreneurs themselves, who basically came here to lead, and basically they are the decision makers in terms of guiding you through the process, giving you tips, connecting you with people in their network, and essentially decide if they want to give and invest money in your company. So introduction to them, what they've done so far, walk around the office, which is, you know, this 111 office, a tech hub here in Toronto, where you're surrounded by a bunch of other established early stage, you know, Toronto companies, startups. So you're really in the midst of entrepreneurship and startups. Then we have a lunch roulette, so just to kind of connect with other people and get to know others. You kind of group into random groups of people and go for lunch together with your team. Come back, and this is just the first day you have introduction to founders. So we kind of take turns going up with a slide and having 90 seconds to talk about ourselves and sharing our, you know, I guess our values, our experiences, what we're looking for, what our strengths are, and a little bit snippets about our life and who we are as entrepreneurs and people. And then, yeah, we continued that for the rest of the afternoon on the first day. So just introduction to founders. And then we had a keynote speaker, Janet. So Janet is, you know, like Janet Bannister, really well-known kind of head of VC here in Canada. She just kind of raised her funds for her own solo Staircase Ventures, which is, you know, she's hoping to invest in a bunch of really great Canadian startups. And she came in to talk about, you know, what VCs are, who they are to our founders, and what she is looking for when she's deciding whether or not to invest in a startup. So this is a really good insight to get, you know, access and to learn more about VCs and to connect with someone like Janet, who's extremely connected, extremely knowledgeable in the industry. Yeah, and then the end of the first day is just the social, where we went for just restaurants and bars and just get to know some people in the cohort. And the second day is pretty much the same, just more introductions and like some kind of, you know, talks about how to find the right co-founder. I think the first week is just particularly just focused on some of these content and kind of lectures, almost like school, but this will kind of die down in the third and second week, and then week 3 onwards. But now it's just about giving you tips how to find the right co-founder, how to ideate, how to find ideas, how to validate those ideas, and then also we also had just some more workshops on, you know, talking to right co-founders, giving questions that we should be asking when we're validating if this person would be someone you want to work with. obviously this is a huge decision that you have to make, and you have to make it off of very little information of people that you've only met a couple of days ago. So they really encouraged kind of sitting down, and they built out this framework for asking some questions, things to be aligned on around, equity, around how much time you want to work, and responsibilities, and these tough questions around, should it be remote? Should it be in person? How do you work on weekends? These are questions that you need to kind of validate and check and reflect on your own first before going to talk to someone else. And the program really encouraged and has done a good job in making you acknowledge and reflect, as well as align about these things with other people around you. As well as, so we did a bit of that, a bit of like talking about co-founders, learning more about how we find them, and then about ideas. What ideas are good, what ideas are VC venture backable, what ideas are too ambitious or not ambitious enough, or solving a pain point that only you see, but that how do you validate that other people have these similar problems as well. So frameworks for kind of idea generation, and then a lot of the week that has been done in week one is just speed networking, speed dating rounds, where everybody just lined up talking to each other for 15 minutes, and then a buzzer rings, and then you rotate around. So that has been extremely exhausting, but also extremely exciting, and you learn a ton about each person on a surface level, and you keep your notes down and hopefully try to catch them during breaks to get to know them a bit more. It's really up to you how much effort you put into this and how much you care about engaging and asking these questions and learning about people. But you can, as we're doing this, and even if there's a lot of contacts and networks and contexts, you do start to build this kind of mental sheet and ranking of who you would like to work with, who vibe with you, what ideas you're interested in, and even the industries that you have never really learned about before that pique your interest. So and then the rest of the week is essentially a design sprint, where we basically sit down for 3-4 hours, and we come up with an idea based on some topics. So for instance, our kind of topic was building a product that has 1 billion touch points. So anything that is large scale, either it could be a 1,000 users for like $1 million, 1,000 users with $1 million each, or 1 billion users that uses once a day. And so anything that has large volumes, and that's basically the only requirement. And we were broken down into groups of 6 or 7, I'm not sure, and then try to ideate on what ideas we wanted to, and what problems would be to scale, and some things that we want to solve. For us, we basically teamed up and we talked and brainstormed a bunch of ideas. Everybody came in with a lot of different experiences and expertise and ideas around what to do here, and it was very interesting to kind of brainstorm and learn a lot about how each other work, I think, which is the main reason of these design sprints, is to really know who you want to work with, who do you like in terms of working style. We came up with a solution in e-commerce, and how to kind of bring Amazon reviews or reviews experience when you're shopping online, and bring it to the retail store with QR code and all that stuff. But the main reason for for the activity was to get to know who do you like to work with and who don't you want to work with, based on how they collaborate in a team environment. So that was first week. I'm kind of skipping over some of these other talks and more lunch roulettes and all these other presentations, but that essentially the first week is just to get to know the rest of the cohort a little bit better, and see who we vibe with. I think that's more important than ideas, is actually the co-founder matching. I think it's one of the biggest reasons why companies like startups fail, is actually not bad ideas, but fallout between co-founders. So the Antler program really tries to synthesize a good relationship and help you figure out what you're looking for. So that's basically the end of the first week. Then I will share next week with you guys at the end of next week, of this week as well, and after some reflection about what I'm looking for and how the program has been. And in terms of how I'm feeling, obviously extremely excited since day one. I have some expectations coming in around what I'm looking for out of the program, and it's just really excited to see other people who kind of quit their jobs as well, and people who had great pay and great companies and leadership roles who took a pay cut and decided to do something that is very challenging. One of the hardest things you can do is start a company, and just being surrounded by everybody who has the same mindset and commitment to this has been amazing experience. Learning a lot from people. Obviously everybody, half these people were from MBAs, a lot of PhDs, a lot of domain experts in climate, in travel, fintech, in AI and Web3 and all that, and just to be surrounded by them and hear about their ideas has been, and for them to kind of poke holes in my ideas has really helped me kind of strengthen my business thinking, my entrepreneurship skills, and learning a lot just from everybody in every single way. Obviously a lot of social energy each day that I get extremely tired. I think just talking to 60 plus people and everybody fully engaged in having deep conversations around intellectual and emotional and personal conversations has been something that I haven't done in a very, very long time, if ever. So this has been a challenge and something that I'm really looking forward to fostering and making things a little bit easier for me next as the week goes by, and kind of calibrating my energy level so that I can keep engaged throughout the day and have really good conversations during the evenings and nights and stuff too. Just a little bit of imposter syndrome as someone who is, a self-taught engineer getting to founder. I've done some, dropped out. I've done some my MBA and dropped out, but learning a lot about people and sometimes there's a little bit of imposter syndrome, whether or not you're as capable and as intelligent and as these other folks who some of them have raised funds and started companies before and led a lot of teams, but I know that I'm here for a reason, and that this is and I'm able to contribute and be a great co-founder and a founder myself as well. And I think at the end of the day of week one is just a little bit of pressure, the emphasis around finding the right co-founder. This is almost like a speed dating, like a reality TV where people get matched up and you have to find and really build great relationship with people that you want to work with, because others want to work with them as well, and playing this game of I want to work with you, but that with you as well, and knowing that they also have their list, and you may be on top of that or in the bottom or somewhere in between. So there's a lot of this high school social feel vibe to that you want to kind of know where to spend your time and energy and who you want to impress and you want to preserve your energy for. So that has been something that I'm kind of thinking a lot about, and also learning more about each potential co-founder, and digging deeper into who they are, their experiences, and working closer with them has been something that I'm trying to prepare for and be more mindful and kind of active about. But yes, I guess this is gonna wrap it up now. It's been a great program experience so far. Truly a pressure cooker for entrepreneurship, it definitely is completely different than you sitting in your own room and trying to build a startup of your own. Like, you are surrounded by people. The physical energy of everybody in being in the same room and talking about founder stuff is really make you step up your game and have momentum for building the startup, which I think is the most important thing. Just want to, yeah, I'm very, very grateful to be a part of this cohort. I'm really excited to see how the rest of the weeks will feel like, and I would love to share with you guys as I keep going through this program. But for now, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.